Top 10 Best Racing Games for PC 2021. It's not easy to choose the finest racing games on PC. So many factors come into play. The genre isn't only about graphical fidelity and spine-tingling sound design, though these are important, it's also about immersing you in the action, as if you're in the driver's seat, eyes strained as the asphalt whips past at 240 km/h. A good racing game feels natural, whether you're honing your timing for a precise gear shift or kicking out the back end for a stunning drift. iRacing. iRacing isn't cheap, but at $50 a year, it's a better deal than many MMOs, and you should also look into the top PC MMOs. It also doesn't put a lot of attention on graphics. However, the benefits are geared at a select and tough group of players. This is where you go when you've outgrown the Codemasters games and even race. Injection is getting a little old. In addition, iRacing in VR is a fantastic experience. Assetto Corsa Competizione. This racing game will appeal to die-hard fans of the genre, while also outperforming the original Assetto Corsa in nearly every category, a feat that requires exceedingly high expectations. Competizione has taken a long time to work its way out of early access, but now that it has reached version 1.0, there are only a few issues left to squash. We too are enamored with it. Phil Iwaniuk discusses how Assetto Corsa Competizione differs from its predecessor in our Assetto Corsa Competizione review. Assetto Corsa Competizione is distinguished from its predecessor by more than just an endurance racing license, he continues. It's more refined, precise, and provides more possibilities for long-term single-player enjoyment. Race. Injection. The list of top simulation racing games would be incomplete without a game from Simbin. Simbin were sim racing royalty throughout the mid-2000s, yet the company appears to have lost its way with the dubious free-to-play race room racing experience. Race Injection is their crowning achievement, a bundle that encompasses everything they've accomplished with the GTR series and Race 07. However, this bundle includes muscle cars, endurance cars, and open-wheel racers, all of which have been meticulously recreated and provide unique driving difficulties. For sim racing, Race Injection is perhaps the best value for money. F1 2020. F1 2020 is the most demanding, most full, and most absorbing edition yet in a decade-long series, with an unusually extensive redesign at a time when other annualized sports games are phoning it in. This year's huge feature is the opportunity to start career mode as both a team boss and a driver, adding a splash of management sim to what remains the best F1 racing game on the market. Driver, San Francisco. This game should be the benchmark for all arcade racers. Steve McQueen would be driver. San Francisco if he were digitized and converted into a videogame. While Driver SF includes automobiles and influences from a number of eras, it takes a 1970s style approach to everything. It adores American muscle, rumbling motors, squealing tires, and San Francisco's incredibly steep hills and twisty roadways. It may have the best soundtrack of any racing game, as well as some of the most diverse event variation. It also boasts one of the genre's most original plots. Rather than being tied to a single vehicle, you can switch to any other on the road at the touch of a button. As a result, in many races, the car you finish in may not be the one you started in, and in automobile chases, you'll rapidly learn to teleport through traffic to construct a variety of automotive disasters solely to annoy opponents. It's strange, unique, and never fails to delight. As we've previously stated, Driver San Francisco has a lot to teach modern racers. They don't make them like this any longer. Trackmania 2. Any veteran of the genre will tell you that solid track design is a crucial component of any decent racing game. And it's in this area where Trackmania 2 Canyon really shines. While a hairpin corner, G-force Lautenkammer, or high-speed straight may serve in other games, Trackmania 2 Canyon's tracks take on a horrifying, Hot Wheels-inspired new meaning. The Trackmania series stands out from other arcade racers thanks to its sweeping barrel rolls, near-impossible jumps, and floating platforms that defy physics. The true heart of Trackmania 2 is discovered online, where other people's brilliant, complicated designs take center stage. The rivalry is ferocious and intense. A race might rapidly develop into an amusing highlight reel of missed jumps and unexpected turns. The racing features make this a great pick-up-and-play multiplayer game that you may get lost in for hours. That's partly due to how simple the vehicles are to operate, but once you're on the, often ridiculous, tracks, it's anyone's guess who will win. Project Cars 2. You may have noticed that real cars rarely cartwheel into the edge when you blend steering and acceleration inputs. They're actually quite adept at navigating around bends. It's almost as if an engineer thought about the problem during the design phase. While the performance cars in Project Cars 2 are more likely to bite back, they are also better at turning. When you drive a Ferrari or a Lamborghini around a track, which we have done several times, you'll definitely spend more time having fun than worrying about the lack of a rewind button in real life. The studio has also made a number of additional adjustments in this sequel, like expanding the automobile option with a wider range of vehicles and introducing a career mode that seems less haphazard without abandoning the game's enticing flexibility of choice. If you don't want to compete online, there's even a half-decent AI to race against. The game's amazing weather system, which calculates a dizzying number of factors like physical properties of materials and surfaces, water pooling and runoff, to spit out the best set of weather effects and wet weather driving we've ever experienced in a racing game, is the most spectacular update. Shift 2. Shift 2 might be the greatest game on this list in terms of realism and accessibility. It's not only how the automobile handles, scary but capable, but how it consistently considers what players require to succeed at their best. Shift 2 offers a dynamic perspective that changes subtly based on context, rather than locking your vision gazing out over the hood or requiring you to pay for tracker to allow you to turn your head. As you approach a soft right-hand bend, your perspective changes somewhat as your driver avatar peers directly into the apex. Your perspective swings a little more for a sharper turn, giving you a better idea of what you're driving into, but it's not unsettling at all. It appears to be natural. Dirt Rally 2. Dirty Rally 2 is not the racing game for you if you don't know your passonets from your driveshaft. Instead, consider Dirt 4 if you're seeking for a casual driving experience that allows you to go from point A to point B a little faster than you could on your everyday commute. Your co-driver will throw instructions, numbers, and directions at you at breakneck speed in Rally 2, and if you can't handle the different terrains and hairpin curves, you'll be crashing into a tree before you know it. You'll be crashing a lot, just like we did in our Dirt Rally 2 impressions. Codemaster's driving game doesn't come with a tutorial this time, so you'll have to learn through repeated trips to the hospital. The procedural track generation technology, your stage, also fails to live up to expectations from past games. Instead, each race is painstakingly built by hand, allowing die-hard fans to commit every treacherous twist and turn to memory. That's the only way to master Dirt Rally 2, and you'll be last if you don't accept its compulsively focused vision. Forza Horizon 4. In Forza Horizon 4, Playground Games' next racing game, the Australian Outback has been replaced by the British Isles. You'll speed through the Scottish Highlands, coast around the Lake District, and drive through lovely British villages in Forza's 10-hour campaign. The scenery alter as the seasons change from spring to summer to fall to winter. You'll need to adjust your driving to fit each season. You'll be able to feel your car respond to minor changes such as wet leaves and ice roads, making you more aware of the terrain and challenging you to handle it skillfully if you want to set the fastest track times. Read our Forza Horizon 4 Beginner's Guide if you need any assistance getting started. In a choice of fast and attractive vehicles ranging from modified transit vans to one-off hypercars, you can compete in standard races, seasonal championships, co-op campaigns, stunt jumps, and endurance tests. You may drive about the British countryside in historic automobiles, and yes, there is a James Bond car bundle with a selection of legendary Aston Martins. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.